on November 5th, we filed a request for a rehearing. The world should understand that the deportation of a Human Rights Watch official speaks to the serious, dire human rights situation on the ground. A 52-year occupation defined by systematic rights abuse and institutional discrimination. The reality is this is larger than about shrinking space or about the limitations on human rights advocacy. It's about a government that is escalating an assault on the most basic international norms.
Boycotts, the social media posts, petitions, things from before he joined Human Rights Watch, if that should have some bearing on this.
In fact, Omar's entire time with Human Rights Watch, he has held quite clearly to the organization's position, and we do not support BDS. So the Israeli government was never able to come up with a single case where Omar deviated from the Human Rights Watch position.
We have a small local team of local staff that are on the ground that will continue to support the work that we do. The court ruled on the decision and unfroze the deportation order. They base areas of conflict. They will, as needed, based on the ground, support our work, but it will be the court's rationale says that those who call for businesses to refrain from contributing to rights abuse, which is a mainstream basic human rights ask, that is grounds under Israeli law now for denial of entry or deportation. So today it's Human Rights Watch. Tomorrow who's going to be targeted? Today the logic is being applied based on what they call a boycott, which is refraining from engaging in rights abuse. Tomorrow is that same logic going to apply to calling the West Bank occupied or settlements illegal or calling for the International Criminal Court to be investigated. Advocates who've been denied entry, including representatives of the United Nations, who was raided by the Israeli army. This is completely befitting of a government that's... There is nothing special about what's happened in my case. The reality is it comes amid many other efforts taken by the Israeli government to assault human rights advocacy, beginning with laws that deny entry to people for their peaceful expression. Other activists have been denied entry, UN representatives. We know Israeli groups have been accused of defaming the state and malign for those activities. And we know Palestinians have faced criminal charges and travel bans solely because of their human rights advocacy. What's different about the Supreme Court ruling is the court has now put the veneer of legality on the Netanyahu government's assault on human rights advocacy, and that's a dangerous precedent that will affect many other people, not just human rights advocates, but ordinary students that study at Israeli universities, spouses of Israeli, who engage in mainstream criticism and advocacy. How are you? I think it's a sad day, really.